All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadah, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect. This is Brother Lawyer from Great Millstone, Miami, and the topic I want to go into is the judgment of Matt Walsh and the Edomite race. Okay, and this video is going to be based off of this character here, Matt Walsh, and the recent statements that he's made concerning, you know, the the destruction of the Lord's people by the hand of the Edomites, man. The slaughter, of the Native Americans, the taking of the land, the enslavement of the Negroes. All right, and how he feels as though it was justified, and he's proud of his forefathers' history. Okay, because according to him, the Americas was sparsely inhabited. The natives didn't have any um, written language. They didn't really build anything, or they were just a bunch of savages, and you know, and just base people. And he has similar sentiments about the Negroes that were stolen from West Africa, okay, and brought over here to serve slavery alongside the natives of this land, okay, which those people that were oppressed and slaughtered by his forefathers, okay, which your forefathers, Mr. Matt Walsh, are Edomites, and you're also an Edomite, okay, those people that were conquered and subdued over here in the Americas and taken into slavery from the west coast of Africa, those are the children of God, okay, those are the Israelites, okay, and as a result of what your people did to God's chosen people, all right, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, and are still doing to this day, the oppression, the bloodshed, the slaughter, and the hatred. All right, God has a judgment pronounced upon the nation of Edom, okay, the people that go around the world and call themselves white, okay, which is a misnomer, it's inaccurate. All right, matter of fact, you guys are the Edomites. All right, well, in the Bible, there's a judgment for what the Edomites have done to the Israelites, okay. All right, so that's what's going to be talked about in this lesson. I'm not going to keep it too long because fuck you Edomites, and fuck Matt Walsh, and fuck all you bitch ass niggas. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I ain't finna go into no deep historical breakdown of all the atrocities you've done. Y'all know y'all history and y'all proud about it. So now that you're wearing it as a badge of honor, and you finally coming out the closet with your racism, okay, well, wear this too, okay. All right. If you can be proud about your history of conquest and slaughter, you can also swallow the pill of judgment too. All right, with your head held high and your chest poked out. Okay, because that's how we like it. We like when the Edomite acts like an Edomite and not be fake about it. Okay, that makes the judgment of the Lord so much sweeter when it happens. All right, so this is Amos chapter 1 verse 11. All right, it says, "Thus saith the Lord, for three transgressions of Edom, and for four, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever." Okay. Now, again, the Edomites are the so-called white race, the Caucasian race, so-called, but you're really Edomites. Okay. And the Lord is very angry with your nation. Why? Because he pursued your brother Jacob with the sword and his descendants. All right. The Israelites, Yasharala, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. All the slaughter that you did to the natives of the Americas and the Caribbean islands. Okay. From Alaska all the way down into the interiors of South America and, the Antilles, the Caribbean islands, and the slavery that you did to the Negroes. Okay. Your ancestors did to the Negroes in West Africa, brought them over here, oppressed them for hundreds of years, enslaved the natives. All those things you did was a lack of pity. Okay, all right, that was all done by the force of the sword, and that was all done to the Israelites. Okay, which the Israelites descend from Jacob, which was Esau's brother. So this is the judgment for what you did. Okay, because he did pursue his brother Jacob with the sword and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Okay. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Bozrah. Okay. So there you go, man. As a result of what the Edomite nation has done to the Israelites, the Lord has pronounced that fire and brimstone will devour your kingdom. All right, which America is a part of Esau's kingdom. This is actually the capital of the kingdom that was so great, built the greatest civilization on the man, and all this other bullshit. They landed on the moon and built great skyscrapers and all this other fuckery, you know, that you was boasting about. Well, guess what? Now that great so-called great kingdom that was built on bloodshed and oppression is gonna go up in smoke and flames. Okay, because Basra prophetically is America. Okay, and not just America, but different parts of the earth where you Edomites rule, like Europe. Okay, and all your armies and cities that you've scattered abroad upon the face of the earth. All right, they're gonna be touched with the fire too, man, in this upcoming world's war. Okay, all right, and that fire is gonna come via the nuclear missiles and the chariots of the Most High, which the world calls UFOs. They're gonna rain fire and brimstone upon the kingdom of the Edomites. Okay, and the mass majority of you are going to be put to death in that day. All right, because of what you've done to the Lord's people, the Israelites. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 12. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them." Okay, all right, so because you dealt wickedly against the house of Judah, which is the head tribe, the Negroes, all right, African Americans, okay, all right, that you stole from the west coast of Africa, that was you taking vengeance upon them. All right, why? Because when King David was in power, the house of Edom was subdued. Okay, and eventually the Edomites rose up against the house of Judah. Okay, and it's been various different times in history where the Negroes, the Southern Kingdom, all right, beginning with Judah and then also extending to Benjamin and Levi, had you Edomites in subjection. All right, putting boot all up in your ass. Okay, and you finally got your opportunity to get your lick back. When you put the house of Judah in slavery. Okay, kidnapped them from the west coast of Africa and made them serve hardcore bondage and oppressed them and killed them and slaughtered them. Did many abominable deeds to them. Okay, well, this is the result. It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword." All right, so the Lord is going to stretch out his hand upon Edom. Okay, and the capital of Edom is here, over here in America, but you also have different parts of the earth, mainly Europe, and even Russia, and over there in the east, where Amalek rules, claiming that they're the real people when they're not. All right, that a lot of you Edomites can get put to death. The Lord's going to take vengeance upon you. "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord." All right, so there's going to come a day where the roles reverse. Okay, all right, in the kingdom of heaven, when the Israelites reign upon the earth underneath their king Yahushai, who the world calls Jesus Christ, who's a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah. All right, they're going to reign upon the earth, and they're going to execute vengeance upon Edom, for what they've done to the Lord's people. Okay, all right, so you Edomites have a horrible fate coming to you. All right, let's go to Revelation 13 and 10. It says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints." All right, which the saints are the Israelites. Okay, all right, Psalm 50. goes into who the saints are. Okay. All right. So the Israelites were led into captivity by the Edomites. So the result is that the Edomites who led them into captivity will go into captivity underneath them. All right. The Edomites killed the Israelites with the sword, various different times in history up until this day. So now they have to bear the brunt of that judgment too. The cup has to pass over unto them. What goes around comes around. Okay. All right. Every action is met with an equal and opposite reaction. It is what it is. This is what your people have to deal with for what they've done to the Lord's people. Okay. As it is written, he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of mine eye. Okay. All right. So go ahead and be proud about your history, man. The Lord is, the Lord already said that this is how you people are going to be anyway. All right. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Esau is a proud, the nation of Edom is a proud nation, the proudest nation on earth, and you can see it by the way you've ruled the earth and by what you've done to the Lord's people. Okay, so hey, it's already written that you're gonna be that way. Let the horns come out, man. Okay, we we already know what type of time Esau's on. We already know that you're the devil. We already know that you are prideful. Okay, you will not listen to no reproof. You do not have the capacity for compassion. You love violence and bloodshed. So hey, do what you gotta do so your judgment can be sealed. Okay. All right. This is Obadiah. Okay, chapter 1. All right. And verse 8, it says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. So Edomites purport yourselves to be such a wise and understanding people, you know, so smart and eloquent, a high IQ. You know, you built such great civilizations. You have such mighty militaries and technology and all this stuff, right? Okay. All right. Well, the Lord said, because of that pride, all right, not only is your understanding going to be cut off, but also your military might. The militaries of the Edomite nation are going to be destroyed. Okay. The American military is going to be destroyed by the Lord. In this upcoming Third World War, you're done for, man. Okay. All right. NATO and the EU, all you finished, you know. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So, because of the violence that you've done to the Lord's people, now your fate is to be destroyed forever. Okay? All right? But it first begins with your kingdom being toppled in the day of the Lord by the wrath of God. Okay? Fire and brimstone. Okay? And then the ones that that survive, you're going into captivity for 1,000 years, and after that 1,000 years, your nation will be eradicated from off the earth. Okay, that's the fate of the Edomite nation. All right, that prideful nation, that obstinate, disgusting nation, man, bloodthirsty. Okay, this is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. I'm gonna close out with this. All right. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And Mount Seir represents the Edomites. Okay, this is where they dwelt in the ancient times. Okay, but wherever they are, wherever they establish themselves in a form of power and authority, that is also Mount Seir. Okay, all right, and chiefly the place of Edomite authority and influence on the earth is here in America. Okay, the daughter of Babylon. All right, it says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I'll stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Okay, which Esau is getting ready to show those horns again. He's had a perpetual hatred since the beginning. Okay, constantly looking to slay the Lord's people. All right, and you read that narrative throughout the Bible, and this continues up until this day. All right, now that this great awakening of the Lord's people is happening, all right, Esau is going to come down having great wrath, knowing that he have but a short time. Okay, all right, so he's going to come with that sword. He's going to come with that bloodshed. Okay, in this time of Jacob's trouble. All right, it says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, in thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Okay, so the Lord is going to make this Edomite kingdom desolate of man and beast. Okay, all the different places where you've reigned and slaughtered the Lord's people will be made desolate. Okay, and your kingdom will never arise again. All right, the next kingdom to rise is the kingdom of the Israelites, ruled by Yahweh the Most High. Yahweh, his son Yahweh and the Israelites. Okay, and in that kingdom, your nation, the nation of Edom, all right, Mr. Matt Walsh, okay, you and your nation will be enslaved, okay, underneath the Israelites, as it is written by the holy in the Holy Bible, okay. That freaking disgusting proud look you Edomites have, fucking pitiful, motherfucker. I never liked you motherfuckers anyway. But yeah, man, look at them, nasty. But yeah, that's the fate. That's the fate of the Edomite race. Y'all didn't know the Lord hate a proud look. All that wisdom y'all got. Look at that fucking proud ass look on his face. Proud. But yeah. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Citations to the elect. Shalom.